you have very fast a super strong leverage because you know the industry already. Everybody can work with AI now,
Yeah.
but nobody knows the exact pain points of your industry. Like you can be automate, no, not podcast maybe because you want to speak with people, that's different, but you can also go into creative director or like graphic designer and use the knowledge you have in that spaces to leverage AI. That was like for me completely fascinating. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I am your host, Faiza Ehsan, and today on All About AI episode, we are sitting with someone who's on a mission to change the agencies they do marketing. We are joined by Lucas Wolf, founder of Customm, where he designed AI workflows. I am really excited for this conversation. Hey, Lucas, good to see you. How are you feeling today?
I'm good, thank you for asking. Today is actually a holiday in Germany, so I have a free day, but I think for founders, 3 days are not counting. But very happy to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, good. That's great. All right, so let's start. Tell us a bit about your background. How did your passion for AI begin, and what motivated you for custom?
Okay, where do I start? I guess like everybody had like his or her ChatGPT moment, like
Yeah.
2022. So I was at the time making already content as a content creator for a forestry company. And yeah, I was stumbling over ChatGPT and had like everybody this moment like, what is happening here? And the next thought was, okay, what can I do with it? So I think like everybody, you start chatting with ChatGPT, ask him some questions, write me content piece for LinkedIn. So and then the output was okay, but mostly it sounded like super generic and super shitty. So you forget about it. And I went back to making videos, and it was now 8 or 9 months ago. I was in-house making content for IT company, and there we had like a consultant. And a long story short, this consultant came in. It was the third day of my time working there, so it was super fresh and everything was new. And you want to present yourself as a good working force and so on. And he came in the room and said the third thing was, you know that you will be replaced with AI in 2 years. So at that moment, it was terribly for me, of course. I felt like, what the fuck is happening? I saw the technology coming. Like,
That's a bit reality.
it's crazy for a lot of people at the moment, I think, as well. So I went through that. And so I thought, okay, what can you really do with it? I had like 3 days of completely thinking about my life and my decisions I made. And then I came back and thought, like, okay, if you can't change it, like this development of AI and what's happening at the moment, what can you do with it? So this was a kind of a switch for me because before I was like, I see it as a competitor. And then I thought, okay, if I use everything this technology can give me, what will happen then? And I was in the good position because like the company I was working there, shout outs were a Green IT solution, were supporting me with the plan. So they said, okay, if you want to do that, try things out and experiment with OpenAI, ChatGPT, um, Claude, and so on. And they paid for every subscription, which
That's
was good
great.
because, yeah, in the beginning it can be quite pricey, right? If you
Yeah,
try 10 different things. So I went through that, but I fast came to my limits of the acceptance of the company to integrate AI, which was completely okay. I mean, everybody has his own like plan and agenda, and that's fine. So I started to realize, okay, maybe this will go in a different way, so that I won't work like forever for them. And yeah, fast forward, one thing came to another, and I was forced to have a decision if I want to work with them or not. So, good thing this consultant came in like 6 months before. I saw the chances and I started to work with the company and afterwards in my free time with AI so much that I was able to say, okay, I am actually would be able to start a company, which sounded absolutely crazy because I had like 500 followers on LinkedIn and never posted anything. So this was like a new thing for me, for myself.
Yeah, I even
And
saw your profile, and you mentioned that you gained 5x followers in just a couple
yeah,
of days, right?
yeah, that's true. Which was completely insane. I mean, that steps like from 6 months till now. Okay, I found found myself my own agency was one step, but then grow on social media, which was my only inbound channel. I don't do cold emailing. I don't do cold calling and so on. All inbound came from LinkedIn, and
That's
I built
interesting.
it. Yeah, it's crazy because the company before was also like in these old thinking mechanisms of okay, we make videos, you are the content creator, super fine, they give me like props and nice videos and stuff, but in the end it was nice to have. You are the guy who makes videos. But then I fast realize that you can leverage not only with video but also text and image LinkedIn as an outbound channel super fast. And this brings me then to my company, Customm, where I solve problems for CEOs and agencies in marketing and sales. That means that I take their personal brands and leverage LinkedIn as their outbound channel and generate like leads for them. And the good thing there is that I use my what I've learned so far to combine personal brand building. So you build trust and then you generate reach. And through that reach, you get the trust to then go out for uh, outreach. So
Yeah,
that is a very long story.
that's really amazing. It's always great to hear behind stories.
Thank you. Yeah, it was for me also absolutely crazy that it happened like this far. I mean, from okay, I have to stop work in that company to my first clients were um, 5, 6 weeks. It was absolutely insane. So that was a real eye opener for me. And I saw, okay, when you want to go into AI, like whatever business you're working on, the best way to do it is like go from your own industry. You have your experience and you know the pain points of the people there and try to fix these pain points first. And if you fix that pain points and transform that into AI, you have very fast a super strong leverage because you know the industry already. You know, everybody can work with AI now,
Yeah.
but nobody knows the exact pain points of your industry. Like you can be automate, no, not podcast maybe because you want to speak with people, that's different, but you can also go into creative director or like graphic designer and use the knowledge you have in that spaces to leverage AI. That was like for me completely fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So, Lucas, when we let robots do the writing, how do we make sure we are not all surrounding like the same soulless copycats?
Good question. So for me, what I learned also through the content creation in the manual process was that you have to find the strategic part first. So if you um, imagine like in the past, it was like a like more like a round shape. So you like in the beginning, you have a bit of strategy. The biggest part is like the writing content
Yeah.
itself. And then in the end, you have, okay, let's see, maybe we get a bit of reach and what happens next, it will be magic. But nobody defined, okay, what is the magic then, at least for my side. And today, what I've learned and what I do for my clients is actually completely the opposite. It's more like a bar handler. So you have a very big strategy part before. That means you need to know who is your ICP and which kind of pain points does that ICP have. And so ICP, for somebody who's not in marketing and plays buzzword bullshit bingo, buzzword bullshit bingo, um, it's basically your ideal client profile or perspective. That means you have a defined kind of job spectrum, industry, and there a revenue band maybe, and okay, what are the person interested in, and so on. And this goes then back into a knowledge pack for the content creator or for the copywriter or for the graphic designer. Then they get another point down, or they get more information like, okay, what kind of language of what visual language do you want to speak, like the house fonts and the
Yep.
colors and so on and so on. And this all gives like a strategy pack. And if you put that strategy pack in front of your LLMs, now it's getting to the point, or like your agents, then you have the differentiation, the difference between the different people, the different outcomes. So um, it's the input.
Yeah.
Whatever you give in the system, this will differentiate the output. So, and how to not sell like a copycat, have your own strategy. This is the
Yeah,
answer.
that's a great point. So, Lucas, be honest. Have you ever gotten an AI sounding a bit robotic complaint from your client?
Yeah, in the beginning. So
Mm.
when I was starting with ChatGPT in the last company, using it as a kind of a copywriter, it sounded, to be honest, very generic. And at the moment, at the time, I was like, yeah, I was like, try to defend the system itself and that it's cool and nice. But if you see the result, it just sounded generic. So fair enough to say that's bullshit.
Okay.
Um, But you learn from that, right? And then you go, okay, what can you make different to the version before? And then you go, okay, you have to solve some pain points. If you want to give value, you have
Mm.
to solve problems, and then you can individualize a bit more. Or if you want to sound like X, Y, or this person or that person, you have to make like a document of the tone of voice, which not
Mhm.
only says try to be concise and try to be a bit more funny or whatever. Um, you can define it much more. And the more you give, the more details you give, the more individualized it will get, and the more it will not sound like your generic
Yeah.
ChatGPT answer.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. Well, since you mentioned that, if we handed you a piece of pure robot content, how would you lucify it?
How would I what?
How would you lucify it? Like, how would you
Ah,
humanize it?
thank you. Um, okay, there are two ways. Of course, the input is important, but if you still think it's not like your voice, then just write it, correct it in your own words, but then
Mm-hmm.
don't feed it back in ChatGPT again. So
Yeah.
um, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because whatever you do the first time, like my first podcast, you will probably suck. It's like it is, and you have to know it. And I know it. So I go with that into the podcast and think like I just want to have fun, and
Yeah.
just speak a bit. And
Just be yourself.
exactly. And the same thing for writing content. So if you use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever as a help for your copy, then correct it afterwards, and then be open to make mistakes. So if there's a mistake in your correction, that's totally fine, and that's you. And this is like a trick I always would do. Don't correct the correction again with artificial intelligence.
Love that. Okay, so are we headed towards a future where creativity is a plugin, not a talent? What do you think about that?
Um, where creativity is a plugin, not a talent. Well, this would be a own discussion for itself, but I'm not a fan of the term talent because um, this is like a cultural myth that there has to be a talent to be creative. I think creativity is something completely human, and
Mhm.
everybody is capable of creative output, creative
Yeah,
problem solving. That's the first thing. And if you then say, okay, maybe it's not a human thing, so, or it gets more a technological thing, if you want to go like this way, um, I think that, like I said before, when you have base knowledge or a skill you want to leverage with AI and get your message out through content, then a plugin can't do that. So you have to give in with maybe your creative spark of your creative problem solving, something into a tool which can accelerate and leverage the message. Do you understand what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So I think it's creative. Nobody will take humans' creativity. So no tool will take all the creative sparks in you. Just you can do that. If you are like saying, I see the technology is coming, I don't want to play with that, I'm out. You take yourself out of your creative potential. Because if you take your skill set and want to leverage your creativity or just get better in creative thinking, just try it out. Just play with the technology, and then you will find new ways to be creative with it. And this is the thought process why I think a plugin or artificial intelligence itself can never replace creativity.
Creativity, yeah, that's true. Awesome. So, how do you find that sweet spot, letting the algorithm help without letting it erase your unique voice?
Um, of noise. I would say, um, okay, overall, if you have a strategy, what to do? Like you have your base set of strategy already set in. And then you would try to see, okay, with the strategy, with that gate, with the walls the strategy brings with, it's also a super good cheat to get better in creativity. Limit yourself with your system. Then I would have like guardrails where to go with. And if you go then that way, um, you will find through the guardrails new way to work on new problems. I hope I understand your question right, and if it
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
So, it's all about balance, isn't it?
Again, sorry.
So, it's all about balance, right?
Exactly, exactly. It's yeah, it's a mixture of both, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if just wanted to add a fun one this time, if you were a chef adding AI to your recipe, what's the secret ingredient you would never let it replace?
Regarding content
Yeah.
or in general, okay, regarding content, well, your personal story, of course. Like it's like an evolution. When you start with AI, you treat it naturally like a tool, like a Excel sheet or something. You give something in and think it
Yeah.
functions and gives you something out. And then you see, wait, I can ask it question or let it ask myself questions. And then it gathered more information and give me a better answer. And through that process, you come then to the next step and saying, okay, maybe I should fix this that I don't have to write this over and over again. So I give him knowledge. And this knowledge part should be unique and honest about your story, whatever story you want to tell. And this I wouldn't replace by some
By anything.
generic, yeah, just don't give it the honest information it needs to then make content which sound like you and not like a complete generic tool. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. These things, I think these things should remain human.
totally.
So,
Yeah.
so let's say we fed 1,000 agencies the same prompt. How do you make sure your content stands out in the pile?
Mm,
The same prompt and the content.
okay, same system, same prompt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like again, it's like the input defines what the prompt gives you. But also like you can say, okay, when the input is the strategic
Mm,
part, like a knowledge package or something, then it learns from you, but you can also like self-feed it. So you can make, for example, if you work with no-code solutions like n8n or Make, you can build agent which saves for you things you mentioned and what are important for you.
yeah.
So the cool thing with that is that you build agents which are self-learning over time. And then you get self-improving system. And this is maybe one step ahead because it's not only what you feed in um, initially, it's also what it learns over time. And if we say then, okay, if you give it at one point the same system and the same prompt, it will be maybe be similar. The more input you give it, the better it will be. But over time, there will be complete different directions of how it will answer your questions and your content in the future. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It's all about adding that unique twist, right?
yeah.
So, do you have a trick to humanize your content after the algorithm has done its magic?
Um, yeah, like I said, I would always try to like give the last 5% or 10% manually. So
Your
even
personal
if you
touch,
have the
right?
yeah, even if you have the best system and very good engines, I mean there are like a ton of tools out there which are already quite good at writing content. So this is not the magic anymore. I think it's
Mm,
more like what you do before and what you do after with the content.
mm.
So before, give the right information it needs. Maybe use self-learning systems to improve over time and let the system get to know you better. Maybe it finds their own conclusions. Yeah, you would never think of that. And then, like always, try to finalize, polish the last bit of it by yourself. And this is, I think, how you can guarantee also in the future human tone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Amazing. So, at what point should we say enough algorithm? We'll take it from here.
Enough AI.
Yeah, enough AI. We'll take it from here.
Um, well, regarding content, well, I earn my money with it. So I would say at the moment, look,
Have you ever faced
overall,
that moment?
yeah, totally. And of course, you think about it because if you build systems which can automatically generate content, how good it will be and how many problems it solves is the one thing, but it will be a lot of content overall. It will get more and more and more. This 100% for sure. So you have to be facing the reality that there will be an overload of content. And when or how do we um, channel that to the right person? So I was already at the point thinking about, is it actually the right thing to do? And this brought me then to the conclusion that I said, um, maybe it's good to make that, but afterwards you should address and channel it to the right person. So if everyone would put out one post a day for everybody, also addressing, not channeling, addressing everybody in the internet saying, hey, I have the best product. Then nobody will see your offer. Nobody will see any offer anymore because we're so overloaded with information. It will just not happen, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, the key is not only out of a business perspective to reaching the right people seeing your offer, also like of how do you say, mm, yeah, like where do we want to get with content and internet, with advertising and internet? I think hyper personalization is a super important how do you say method to tackle both. So on the one side, if you hyper personalize and really just reach out to the people which are already interested into your content, for example, through signals with likes or
Or
profile
anything.
views and
Yeah.
so on, then you will reach out just to them with an offer. And so you don't generate like you flood the internet with advertisement. That's the one thing. And the other thing is, yeah, we just avoid like putting out everything for everybody because these times are, I think, over. Like advertisement, like it was, is changing super, super fast. And I also think like the spamming tactics of cold emailing, for example, which is content for myself as well. Content can
Mm-hmm.
be in many forms.
Yeah.
Um, so I think these days are over. You really have to know who to address and when to address and which signals have to be first to know the
Exactly.
timing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
I
yeah,
totally agree because it's all about trusting your judgment, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, are there any signals or tells you watch when when your content starts losing its human soul?
Mm, um, well, I think I passed that point.
All right, no problem.
Um,
No
I
problem.
passed that. No, no, no. It's fine. It's like I think it's a like I said, an evolution. You start actually with generic and get then better through understanding overall how
Mm-hmm.
artificial intelligence works, and then maybe hire somebody who can build system or build your own systems of um, getting more personalized stories and also the tone and also where to address the story to. So I think this is just an evolution we will hopefully get past soon, that we don't have like this slop so much anymore.
Yeah.
For example, in Instagram or TikTok, like this Yeti videos. I'm totally fine with playing around with tools, but I see also the risk in it, flooding the net with the desperate need of getting likes and views.
Yeah. So,
That should,
spotting those signals is the key.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So, do you have a framework for blending human creativity and machine efficiency?
Mm,
Or will you plan to apply any framework for your content?
no, I would say I have a framework,
Mm-hmm.
which is like one of the main products I'm offering is like a content engine. So
Mm-hmm.
this is actually a framework how you get from the strategy, um, talked about it, to the content and then to the outreach. It's like a complete system. And this is going through like every step that I can guarantee my client that it will
Mm-hmm.
be personalized, that it will be in his tone. So this is the strategy part. Then the next part is like the content itself. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you write content? We have our SOP. There are different tools we can use for that. Um, so this doesn't have to be like a custom, self-built, self-trained system. There are already a lot of tools out there which are doing this, and I'm not a fan of using solutions not because you have to be, it has to be your solution. That's bullshit. And in the end, you have like this outreach part, and then it comes together. This is for me the framework because if
It's
you
all about
address the right,
customization.
yes, and
That's why
like
it's custom.
that's why it's custom. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be personalized and it has to be customized to a specific target group, solving specific problems. addressing people when they need it. I think this
Yeah.
is like, yeah,
I really appreciate you sharing that.
thank you. Thank you.
So, are there roles you think will become more or less important in a world of automated content?
Well, this is a thing which, of course, I think a lot about because I think if you do something with automations, you also have like kind of an responsibility.
Hmm.
Um, because this technology will come to a cost of a lot of people. And I'm
Yeah.
100% aware of that. So I try to include people which are interested in learning it. Also, that could be first like your family circle, then your friend circle, and then, of course, offering consulting services to
Mhm.
companies which want to understand what you actually build here. Said that, I think that there are groups, of course, which will be, yeah, affected first by the development. For example, for content, it's definitely the copywriter.
Yeah.
It's the graphic designer. It could be the art director. It could be the FX artist. There are different people which are probably having less jobs at the moment. They will feel it already. And if you're one of the persons, you will say, you will know what I say. But what I see from the outside, which is actually interesting, is there are groups um, reacting differently on the changes. So there will be people who profit from it. Of course, like people like me, building an agency, building custom automations and agents. This is super flexible. You are super fast. You
Yeah.
can iterate. That's perfect now. But if you learn a job like a copywriter, this can be difficult when you say, I, I won't touch this technology.
Yeah.
So if you are open to experiment with it, just like open it and try to solve your own problems with it, you will be seeing quite fast how powerful it can be, and you can scale your own skills with it. And I'm really, how should I say it? For me, it's super important to get that message as well out, even if you are afraid and don't know how to go to the next step. How I was like 8 months ago. Be open to experiment. Just play around with it, and you will see opportunities and solutions.
That's
Because
great. Great.
because I think that a copywriter. I just recently read a post from a dear colleague who wrote like something like that. It was like a lead magnet, and of course, with lead magnets, everything is a bit more catchy and hooky.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. And it was something like, if you mean that, or if you said that AI content creation sounds like generic, you never had like a good system. Here's my system, and of course there will be a copywriter replaced or never or completely obsolete. I'm not sure about the exact words, but he said like in a way that copywriter will be something which will be replaced because the systems are there. And I think that's true to the fact when you don't use AI, the systems will be better, just
Yeah,
out of
that's true.
volume and speed. But if you are a copywriter, would do a copywriting system, for example, for posts, for content, that would be probably the best system you can have at the moment for copywriting. That's a thing. Use your skill you have and build a system around it, because there are a lot of niche which are open at the moment. Still, nobody's in there because they think, fuck, AI is here. I throw the towel, or I have to search something else. But you can use exactly that niche you are already working in to build maybe the best system which is out there. And this is a chance really for a lot of people, for FX artists, for copywriter, for designer to
For
jump
everyone
into
in the
now.
industry, right?
exactly.
Mhm.
For everyone actually doing a white collar office job at the moment.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So AI is a part of our life right now.
yeah. It won't go away. That's the point.
So, what do you think? How much personalization is too much? Where is the fine line between tailored and creepy content?
Yeah, I think. Um, okay, two thoughts to it. I
Mhm.
think we are already giving away our data since 10 years. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, everybody gathered our data, but nobody can do something with it beside the big companies like Meta,
Yeah,
X, and whatever, like the big companies, Google, of course. Now we have the opportunity to find that data because there are
mhm.
databases like Apollo.io or Clay, which is super good. And we can use the data, but this time we are in power of the data. So I'm not afraid to personalize the out of it. I want to do that because I know how powerful it is, and I don't want to spam the whole world with my content. I want to reach the people who want my service, right? Or
Yeah,
my solution. So I'm not afraid of that scenario because I know the data is like scraped out of us with smartphones, with our internet behaviors already since 10 years. The
mhm.
difference is now that we can use it for us, like for entrepreneurs like me or for services. Like everybody can build a service around nearly
Yeah.
everything actually at the moment.
And we
So
all want it helpful, not weird.
of course, I mean, there is a line where I just thought like I got a call. I'm searching a new co-working space and
Mm-hmm.
for my office, and I searched for it in the internet, and I wrote to a page, and after 2 hours, I got like three different calls from different countries. Want to advise me with the service. So this was the point where I was thinking, okay, I put in the data like in this one website, and three different countries from three different companies
That's
try
really
to
amazing
yeah say
and
sell that to
interesting
me
as
like
well. Yeah.
it's crazy, like so fast as well. And I thought, okay, I use this technology as well, so I know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
But this was the first time where I thought, okay, for the other side, what is too
Mm-hmm.
much? If you give a LinkedIn post, then I scrape it. I have actually your phone number and your email
Yeah.
address. But how do you feel when I write you on WhatsApp when you just like commented my post on LinkedIn? It's like a bit weird, and
Yeah.
I think we have to navigate through that and find a solution which is everybody comfortable with, and this hopefully gets solved over time, or we find a balance of, or get a conscious of, okay, when I put in the data in there and it's open, not only Meta has it now, everybody has it now.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, if you were to give a pep talk to marketers afraid of losing their creativity to machines, what would you say? Mm.
Yeah, I mean, parts of it I already answered, but I would say, um, do it step by step. Because I think the most frightening thing for new people in AI is just the flood of possibilities. So you can do actually everything. You
Mhm.
can build an agency, okay, but where do I start? With which niche? Where do I start writing a strategy? How do I define a brand? So what is the voice of my brand? And so on and so on. And I think this is not just for people who want to build a personal brand. This is for everybody in everybody's job. So everybody's thinking like, oh shit, what should I do now, right? And take it step by step and then just like start with something. So there is no right or wrong way in the beginning because you will change it anyway.
Yeah.
This is like a relaxing thought that
It's
the
just like
beginning,
a kick, an initial kick.
yeah, yeah. You have to kick off the thing to get somewhere in the end. So the
Yeah.
beginning is not so important. The more important thing is that you do it regularly, like best thing every day, 1 to 3 hours. After you work or like in your work, how the possibilities are for you. And yeah, just start step by step, and you will get clarity of what you can do and what you want to do, and then you can
That's very
navigate.
true. Yeah, that's very true. A pep talk is much needed sometimes. So, moving forward, here comes the last question. For our listeners who want to start their AI journey but don't know where to begin, what's your best advice to them? Your exclusive advice.
Um, they want to start AI
Yeah,
overall.
yeah.
Um, okay, well, if you want to start with marketing and strategy, feel free to contact me every time. Um,
That's a
no, I
great
have.
way to pitch.
Yeah, that's a great way to pitch. No, it's not about just like to pitch. I actually have at least 1 or 2 coffee calls with just
Yeah.
fresh starters, and
Mm-hmm.
I had the same situation when I was starting
Custom.
out like six. Yeah, yeah. No, before I was not even planning of doing my own thing,
All right.
but there was a guy. Shout out to Niklas. He is also an agency, a super cool guy. And at this time, I was calling with him. I don't know anything about building a business, what to concentrate on.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard about N8N. This was like, he was the first guy who mentioned N8N. Now I built everything with N8N. It's like, feels like second home, which is crazy. But he mentioned it the first time, and he gave out so many advices and like for free, where to start. So it doesn't have to be me. It can be somebody in the industry which is a few steps ahead of you, and
Mm-hmm.
just like ask for a coffee call. Look if they have the separation between um, a business call and a coffee call, because
Yeah.
it's kind of
That's a
annoying when
just
you.
chit chat call.
Yeah, yeah. Just mention it that you want to chat, like easy, and then yeah, just chat and exchange thoughts, and you will learn a lot through that. I'm super, super thankful for everybody in the beginning supporting me in this way. Sometimes it's like just like for them 10 minutes. It doesn't matter, but they give you so many advices which are so
Yeah.
valuable for you in the beginning.
And who knows
Yeah,
which one will click you for your future.
exactly. Maybe it's a colleague, a future
Yeah,
colleague.
yeah, that's
So
true. That's true.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, let's wrapping it up. Thank you so much for taking your time to speak with us today. Best wishes and good luck for your future. We really have
Thank
great
you.
insightful conversation with you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for having me.
Perfect.